Hi everybody, I'm Meghna Kamdar. I'm a wife, a mother of three, an entrepreneur, business owner, world traveler, and life coach, and so much more. In January of 2020, my husband and I moved with our three kids to Lisbon, Portugal, to fulfill a lifelong dream of raising our kids abroad. So I understand the complexity of this decision. I understand how big a decision this is. I know what it takes. And so the most common question you're going to get in your life now going forward, that you'll continually have to voice and justify to yourself even, is why are you moving to Portugal? And why are you leaving the United States? This will be the most common questions for most conversations going into your future. I can guarantee that, especially with expat living. But let me ask you, how secure are you answering this question? How secure are you knowing in why you're moving to Portugal, why you're leaving the US? And I understand what led us to make this major life decision. And it was one, because it was our calling to always wander and explore and see the world. This was always been a big part of myself and my husband's. Second, we were all really looking for a place that was family friendly and relaxed. And Portugal is a great place to raise kids. There's so much public life that's accessible to families and to children that is non-existent in the United States. We were also looking to teach our children from the experience of living abroad, learning languages, cultural immersion, exposure to different ideas, viewpoints, ways of living, different thinking that comes from non-formal education, right? It only comes from travel, from experiencing firsthand. We also wanted more autonomy of our time, of our day, of our lives. We wanted more time to do the things that we want. And ultimately, this led to what we really ultimately want, which is a experience of growth and growth mindset, which this whole experience has given us. And so I have to ask, how secure are you in your own truth and knowing why you're making this decision? It is probably your biggest life decision yet, especially because it represents so much more than just a life in Portugal. I'm sure it has a deeper meaning to you. And because it's completely off from most accepted social norms, it triggers an emotional response to it. Have you felt this already? Do you know what I'm talking about? Because even me now, 3.5 years into my expat life in Portugal, I still have the experience of not fully knowing the consequences of this decision to move. And I probably won't know it for years to come, and how it will impact my three young children even. And for this reason, I've never taken this decision lightly. And still today, it remains my choice, our choice. We've chosen this, and we're choosing to continue it. So that's also your choice. But I have to be honest. The move itself isn't what's hard, is it? It's about packing up, downsizing, getting rid of things, getting ready for a visa application, getting paperwork together, choosing or creating a type of career or job situation that enables for international travel and international living, getting our finances in order. These things are just actions that might lead up to maybe a year or two of preparation, right? We'll have to then let people know, our loved ones, that we're moving, our kids, get them on board. And finally, it's the fun of deciding what we want next. Deciding where we want to live, neighborhoods, apartments, and most importantly on our children's education, schools. Boom. 1 to 2 years, we're on track. Okay, so it's not exactly easy, but I also don't know if this isn't the hard stuff, is it? I can imagine this isn't going to be the tough stuff. But what makes this move so hard? Why is it so challenging for people? I know it was hard for me. And I know the hardest part was really managing my fears, getting ahead of my thoughts and my beliefs and my feelings. And as it got closer, as our date to leave drew closer, those fears and feelings were so overwhelming. They were so overwhelming to a point where I was in action. I couldn't do things that I wanted to. I dawdled. I was overwhelmed. And my follow through, my questioning self-confidence was wavering. So no matter where you are at this stage, if you're early on, you're exploring this idea of moving abroad, excuse me, or you're together with your application, no matter where you are in your stage, the truth is you have to fully own this decision. This one big life decision. So knowing deeply within you, your heart, your soul, how and why you came to this decision, this will be your guide. This will be your guide to all the subsequent decisions related and unrelated to this move and to your family. And so throughout all areas of your life, it will be guided by this big decision. So the power of owning your decision is so important because it's going to affect your relationships. Relationships with your partner, your kids, your aging parents, your friends, your community, coworkers, bosses, everyone who's in your circle. They are all going to have an opinion about it. And do you know what they're going to be looking for when you let them know that you're moving to Portugal? They're going to be gauging your certainty, your conviction, your commitment. Before you even say more, this is what they're going to be looking for. They will want to feel your certainty in your decision to move. But nothing is certain in life except how you feel, how you embody this decision. You can carry the certainty in your own choices. If you've ever had to do this before, if you've never had to do this before, and this is the first time you're having to do it, it's really important, especially now. Because those people around you, they're going to be challenged by this new concept of your new life. They will want to keep you exactly how you are, predictable, safe, comfortable. They're invested in the you now. The new into the future, the new you, they don't know. It's too scary. So, this is what it takes to be courageous. The move itself, it doesn't require a ton of courage. Follow through, yeah. Actions, go in with it, step by step. But that's not courage. But believing in yourself, believing in your choices, your decision, believing in your unique path that you're on, before you have evidence that it's going to work out, before you're certain of this new life, you have to believe in it. And that this is what creates certainty. And this is what it means to be courageous. Believing first in yourself. And here at this point, wherever it happens with you in their journey, this is where many people drop off. It's too much for them. It becomes too real. So you have to be brave, you have to acknowledge and understand the fears. The fears are valid. It's a way of keeping you safe, protecting you from new things, from danger. And it's okay to have them. It's a natural part of our human life. But it's what you're able to do next. It's what you're able to do in spite of these fears. That's courage. That's bravery. And what do you think you'd be able to do once you've accomplished this? Once you're able to decide, feel into the certainty and the courage and the bravery, and to not fall into fear? What do you think you'd be able to do next, even into your future? It could be anything you want. Almost anything is possible. Everything is possible. Why not? In fact, I think if you get to this stage, it's inevitable. This big move to Portugal, it's inevitable. But the confidence this brings to your being, to your future, to your decisions to come, this is invaluable. So how do we get to this place of certainty and confidence in our decisions to move with our kids to Portugal? Something that no one else is doing around you. How do we get to this place? You get crystal clear. You sit on it, you think deeply, why move? And get underneath your big whys. Because invariably, when we say yes to one thing, we're also saying no to something else. So we know why we wanted to move and why what we were leaving behind in our decision to move. And for us, we were really trying to embrace a new way of living, a new way of existing, an alternate path, an alternate lifestyle, something that no one around us was ever doing. In a lot of ways, it was the reverse of the American dream, a total flip on our social upbringing conditioning, because we were downsizing, we were going smaller, we were moving from a big suburban home to a small apartment in a city. We were trying to really prioritize and simplify our lives, get rid of our possessions, so many material possessions that we've built our lives around, cars, our jobs, freeing ourselves from consumption habits and the materialistic pursuits that much of our life was guided around, was shaped around. And to getting to a point where we now have time and full autonomy of our day, that's what we wanted. And thereby gaining life experiences, invaluable travel time, travel with family. That's what we really wanted. And so understanding what we were leaving behind is just as important to this decision to move to Portugal. And so we knew we would be leaving behind loved ones, aging parents, lifelong friends, a community, physical, material comforts, familiar ways of living, being, habits, language, ways of conveniences, modern conveniences, foods, things that were so familiar to much of our life. And I was okay leaving behind some of this because I understand what I was going for. And I also know there's a lot outside the United States. These are not conveniences outside of the United States. These conveniences don't exist. And so I knew I was leaving behind some of the comforts. But I also knew what I would be gaining in my new life. And I welcomed those changes. And they've added to my personal growth and development. Of course, new challenges are going to happen in life, no matter where you go. But it's not breaking my experience here. I've learned so much about myself, about adapting, about growing, about being open and flexible. I know what I'm gaining from this new life and the experiences that I'll have. And ultimately, this is what's really important to me and my family. And so the power of owning your decisions will open up so many more doors. But you have to stay committed to your decision. You have to stay in belief and and allow for certainty in your decision. Staying the course, despite the fears and the doubts, will ultimately allow you to continue to act boldly, move forward, and follow through on some of your biggest dreams, starting with this move to Portugal. But you don't have to do this alone. What if you could do all of this from a place of calm, of certainty, without the stresses of moving? What if you could have someone hold your hand every week to encourage you, to help you pass through some of those fears, to help continually keep the focus on the big goal? What if you could be there for your family members, your partners, your children, even your parents, anyone who depends on you, and you could be the source of comfort and stability to overcome their own concerns and insecurities about your decision to move? What if you could get all this support ongoing and a follow through every week, so you could stay on track and meet all of your timeline goals, so you wouldn't dawdle in inaction and lose time and money in the process? What if you could get all of this support to get you to move to Portugal and to help you with your further goals and decisions? This would even allow for us to sit down and do a brainstorm around your current job and roles, so that you could open up new opportunities to live abroad, look at passive incomes, business ideas that could all support your new life in Portugal. The life of freedom, a life of more time, of autonomy. Wouldn't this be worth it? What if you could sit down and really go deep into the life vision that you see for yourself here in Portugal and beyond? A life that's in alignment with your future dreams and your values. What if you could feel into this vision every time you felt that fear? What if you could fall into this vision within each subsequent decision that you're making, so you know exactly the right decision for yourself, and you don't stress and you don't have time lost? Like a chance to really create a new life you love, a life you're proud of. I've even felt so proud of my life, being able to honor what was so important in my being. This support, what would it mean to your future? What would it mean to all areas of your life? What would it mean to the people you love, to your kids? Are you ready to claim your decision, this power that you have? Are you ready to claim your decision to move to Portugal and to claim your future? To get the support and accountability and transparency you need? Are you ready to become unstoppable into your future? Let's do it. Let's do it together.